Well, I want to talk about Hernando's Hideaway to start with. I mean, what you've done to that number, you build and build and build. Did you talk to Harry early on of how you wanted him to fit into the number?
Well, what's great is when you say Hernando's is such a great classic song, and when you have a great song like that, you kind of have license. It's like jazz. You have license to sort of mess with it a little bit because the solid foundation is so wonderful and so strong and so well known. The sort of initial impetus for that came from when I was talking to Harry, and he was saying, how can I do the same thing 8 times a week? He's used to being able to do his own show and mix it up, and that started me thinking, if we can design a place in the show for him to improv, that'll keep it fresh for him every night. And so that was the initial germ of the idea of, if we can get him to a piano and give him a solo section. And I thought, okay, the place to do that is in Hernando's because it's a club. How do we get there? And that was, then I started kind of figuring it out.
It's so amazing. And Steam Heat, you put a whole new stamp on that. Was that daunting for you to work on originally?
Oh, terrifying. Because it's this incredibly famous, number, the most famous piece of theater choreography I think ever created. And so, you can't outdo the original. All you can do is kind of do your own interpretation, do something different, because it's impossible to sort of top the Fosse. But what we thought what we should do is at least hit that, instead of trying to avoid it, just acknowledge the master and hit that iconic image right from the top with a trio in suits and bowler hats, and then let it go from there, but to acknowledge the fact that that's the classic, that's the heart of the number.
Talk about the Marshallettes. I call that half your company because you work with the same family, which is really wonderful. I mean, from the Peter Bensons, but you're dancers. I mean,
Joyce Chittick and Vince Pesh and David Eggers and Jen Cody and Jeffrey Schechter, all these great people that I've known and worked with. And it's not surprising, especially a lot of them did Wonderful Town or Kiss Me Kate or both. And it's not surprising because they know how to play real people who then explode into musical comedy energy, which is not an easy thing to do, to go for that sort of heightened energy and reality with truth and not with kind of phoniness. It's a unique thing.
Talk about your 2 anchors of the ship, Harry Connick Jr. and Kelly O'Hara.
Harry and Kelly, aren't they like the sexiest things? I mean, they're so fantastic together, and they just, to see a star and a rising star who just fit together so beautifully, and they're as devoted to each other off stage as they are on stage. They're phenomenal, just phenomenal.